Hey Cancer, welcome to Sweet Tea, Astrology, and Tarot. My name's Erica. Welcome to the channel. How are you doing? I hope that you're well. Why don't you sit a spell so we can talk about the stars? We're going to start off the month of November with the Sun in Scorpio. Cancer, this is your 5th house, the house of your creations, your creative ability, your creative endeavors, and creative pursuits. It's the house of romance and dating, pleasure, social life. It's the house of your children and where you make your babies. So there will be emphasis on this house at the beginning of the month, all the way through to about the 20th of the month. Now, on November the 8th, if you are an American citizen, this is our election day. If you have not already voted, please go out and make sure that you fulfill your civic duty. We all have a voice. It has all been paid for, and we need to go and exercise our rights to vote. Please be an informed voter. Please understand what's going on in your election cycle area. The ballots look different for each precinct. We're all voting on different things. It's not just a presidential election that we're voting for. So be active, be informed, do what you're supposed to do. Let me jump off my soapbox now. On November 9th or 10th, depending on where you live on the planet, we'll have Mars moving into Aquarius. Mars is the planet that represents energy, impulse, and aggression, and this is the area of life for you that's going to be in the house of life, death, and rebirth. Your instincts, primal, basic, or human. It's going to deal with sexuality. It's going to deal with other people's money. Yeah. On the 11th or the 12th of the month, depending on where you live, we've got Venus, the planet of love, harmony, and beauty. Also, money and resources, moving into your 7th house. The 7th house is the house of your partnerships and where you identify with others. It's the house of open enemies and counseling. So, you may be feeling the love in your friendship sector. That would be pretty cool. On the 12th or the 13th of the month, depending on where you live on the planet, we'll have Mercury, the planet of thought, movement, and communication, moving into Sagittarius. That is a B-52 bomber flying overhead. I live close to Barksdale Air Force Base in North Louisiana, so I'm going to give it a minute. Gets a little louder. They can get really low sometimes, so it can sound like the world's ending, but yeah. So, shout out to the service members. Let's move back into what was being said. On the 12th or 13th, we've got Mercury, the planet of movement, thought, and communication, moving into Sagittarius. This is your 6th house. The 6th house is your house of work and health, or the competency and skills that you bring to the services that you provide. It also covers your day-to-day agenda, the daily minutia, the things that you do on a daily basis, and how you get them done. On the 14th or 15th of the month, depending on where you live on the planet, we have a full moon at 22 degrees of Taurus in your 11th house. That flame flickering happened for a reason. And I mean, it was because I was talking, but it did more than what it normally does. And hello, pretty rays. Anyways, the 11th house is the house of your friends, your groups, your future wishes, goals, and dreams, and your bucket list. It's the memberships and associations, teams that you may belong to. This is also the house of the internet, so that may be important to you as well. The Sabian symbol for 22 degrees of Taurus reads, a jewelry shop filled with valuable gems. And when I was meditating, I came to the conclusion that this is really going to be finding buried treasure in whatever area of life this full moon is touching. So for you, that's the 11th house. You may find out that you've got some real diamonds in the rough for friends or people that you associate with. And your internet world may really be popping. So, on the 19th or 20th of the month, depending on where you live on the planet, we have Neptune going station direct in Pisces. And this is going to be an out of the fog type of feeling for you. Neptune's been retrograde for a few months. This is in your 9th house. The 9th house is long-distance trips, questing, adventures, higher education, the study of philosophy, religion, astrology, or foreign languages. It concerns foreign people, foreign places, and foreign things. It's the house of your worldview expanded through education or experience. It's a never-ending learning kind of thing. On the 21st or 22nd of the month, depending on where you live on the planet, we've got the sun moving into Sagittarius. This is your 6th house. This house is the house of work and health, competency and skills that you bring to the services that you provide in your daily routine, your daily minutiae. On the very same day, we've got Jupiter in your 4th house and Pluto in your 7th house blending very nicely. They're playing well together today, or this day. The 4th house is the house of home and family, and this is your house that you rule, Cancer, on the astrological wheel. The 4th house is home and family. Home is where you live or where you consider home to be. Family is your mother or your father or people you consider to be your parents. Also people that you share your home with. That can be your partner, your spouse, your children, fur babies, roommates, anything that you share a living space with. The 4th house also speaks to roots and foundation. The 7th house is the house of your partnerships and how you identify with others, open enemies, and counseling. So you may be having a breakthrough in counseling, especially if you've got parental issues. It may be a really nice breakthrough in that counseling area. If that's not the case, you may be dealing with a homewarming party or a housewarming party or something to that effect. Or you could be dealing with possibly some strife, open enemies in the home sector. It really just depends on your personal chart. This is a general reading. On the 25th or 26th of the month, we've got some pretty nice energy going on too. We've got Venus conjuncting Pluto in Capricorn. A conjunction is basically the amplification of the energies that are present. So we've got Venus, the planet of love, harmony, beauty, and money and resources, amplifying with deep transformation and deep renewal. When I think of Pluto, I think of coastal erosion, and it's because it's a slow process, but it's something that changes the landscape forever. That's the best analogy I can think of for Pluto. 7th house, once again, that's your partnerships and how you identify with others, and counseling. On the 29th or 30th of the month, depending on where you live on this planet, we will be experiencing a new moon at 7 degrees of Sagittarius, and this is going to occur in your 6th house of work and health, or the competency and skills that you bring to the services that you provide. A new moon is a seeding time. It's a time for new projects to be started or to focus in that area. That's when you will have the best luck in that area, is when you have a new moon. The best focus for you would be in your 6th house, be it for work or health. For health, it may be a new workout regimen or weight loss regime, or just trying to watch your health, especially during these holidays that we're going to be embarking on very shortly. A lot of people cross paths, a lot of, colds and such. Just be careful. Wash your hands, due diligence with your antibacterial stuff if that's what you do. Take your vitamins, that sort of thing. If you haven't had your shots and you're a person who believes in vaccinations or wants to get vaccinated, by all means do that. Just follow the advice of your doctor, because I'm by no means a doctor. I'm just trying to give you what I'm seeing going on astrologically. So Cancer, that's what's going on for you in the sky. I'm going to pause for the cause for a second, grab my cards, shuffle over them for a minute, and ask for the general messages for my Cancer viewers, and I'll be right back, y'all. Hang tight. Hey Cancer, I'm back with the cards. I'll go ahead and get some shuffles in for you. Well, okay. Let's try this again. Zoe's hiding under a blanket next to me. If I could shuffle today, y'all. Alright, I'm going to cut for you. This is a general reading for my Cancer viewers for the month of November. Bottom card for the underlying theme or the overarching energy, and the top 3 for clarity. Alright. Now I'm also going to pull 2 cards from the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck. This deck is by Elena Fairchild. The artwork is by Autumn Sky Morrison. For my Cancer viewers, November. Alright, I'm going to cut. Alright, I'm going to take top and the bottom card from this deck. And one last set. Healing and Meditation Oracle deck. It's been a minute since I've used these cards, so I wanted to bring them back for my Cancer viewers for this month of November. Alright, I'm going to take the bottom card because you just had one pop. I'll be right back, y'all. Hang tight. Alright, Cancer, I'm back with your cards. Let's go ahead and get started. The underlying theme or the overarching energy that you receive for the month of November is the 4 of Swords in reverse. I just got finished shooting a video that had this in the same position, but it was upright. I see this as the Minor Arcana Death card because this is a sarcophagus right here. It doesn't mean that somebody is going to die or anything like that, but it could mean bed rest. It could mean being put on bed rest and not liking it, being tired, possibly not having time to sleep, or I also see this as like recuperating from possible surgery. The swords represent air sign energy. The air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. You've got Mars moving into Aquarius, which is your 8th house. And I normally wouldn't notice that synchronicity, but Mars is the planet that also governs cutting, and these are swords that would cut. Maybe dealing with surgery. And that could be just one individual, but the 8th house is a surgery house. The 4 represents the Cancer-ruled house of home and family. Home is where you live or where you consider home to be. Family is your parents or people you consider parents. It also covers the people that live with you in your house. This can be your spouse, your partner, your children, your fur babies. Mine's right here, wallowing around in a blanket. Fur baby. If that doesn't resonate for you, it could be speaking to your roots or your foundation, Cancer. This is a sensitive house for you, the 4th house, because that's the house that you rule. The first card in the top 3 for clarity is the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is a masculine. I want to say someone who acts age 40 plus. Masculine earth sign energy. The earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We're having a full moon in Taurus in your 11th house. So, the King of Pentacles is, he is the master of his domain. He is able to provide for himself and everyone around him without much effort on his part. It's like he's built his kingdom and is living off of the fruits of his labor. That isn't necessarily what you are doing, but that's the energy of this card. I really feel like this speaks to the full moon because of this little pentacle right here. I normally don't see it as a full moon, But the fact that we're having the full moon in Taurus, I think that that represents this full moon energy right here. The 11th house is where that full moon is occurring, and the 11th house is the house that covers and dictates internet. This can be friends, real life or internet friends. This is memberships, associations, groups, teams that you belong to. It could be that you're finding out that you value them more than you realized, or you may be feeling more valued by those sorts of individuals than you felt before. Someone who's prosperous or is able to make their prosperity or abundance, they have a hand in it. The second card that you got for the top 3 for clarity is the Ace of Wands in reverse. And what I thought about when just looking at these cards, especially the way that I have it laid out, this 4 of Swords is mirroring the Ace of Wands. It's almost like you feel, it's like a torch is being put out. You could feel like you're out of energy for some reason, or have been told to be put on bed rest. You may be feeling ill. You've got some energy going through your 6th house. That's work and health. So you may be feeling under the weather, Cancer. The Wands represent fire sign energy, and the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. There's silver lining in this situation. It may be that you need to slow down so you can think about something, and your body is basically saying, since you won't schedule the time for this, I'm going to make you schedule the time for it. Sometimes that's what happens. But the Ace of Wands in the upright is like a spark of creation, a spark of initiation, a spark of, like, the beginning spark. But in the reverse, it's like it's being doused, it's being put out, it's being, that spark is being smothered. It doesn't mean that it'll be that way forever, and I don't think that it will be, because the very next card, the final card, the 3rd card in your top 3 for clarity, is the very fiery and courageous and brave Queen of Wands. This is a fire sign feminine energy. Fire signs Aries, Leo, and Aquarius. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I don't know why I said Aquarius. Well, once again, Mars moving into Aquarius, the 8th house. It could be that you need to recover from surgery in some way. Another thing that I'm seeing is the sunflower right here. The sunflower reminds me of the Sun card in the Rider-Waite Tarot. That card is representative of the Sun. The Sun is Leo's ruling luminary. A Leo may be important to you in some way. It also makes me think of the Sun moving into Sagittarius, which is a fire sign. And this is in your 6th house of work and health. I think this is, well, I mean, this is playing out in a work or health situation. For work, it's like you've not been happy in your job. You've not been happy where you're at in your home for where you're making your money, possibly, because the King of Pentacles is what's next. And you end up making a decision that you need to find another place to work. And that's where the Queen of Wands comes into place, because back in the day, they would say that she was a promiscuous queen because she's the only queen that has her knees apart. I'm an Aries sun. I don't like the way that shit sounds. I'm sorry. I prefer to think of it as her being an eager queen, eager to stand, eager to fight, eager to do whatever she pleases. This little black cat may be important to you as well. You could be dealing with a cat lady who might have fire sign energy in her, or, you know, cat symbology may be important. You may want to look up what the cat spirit animal totem means for you. That could have some resonant messages for you as well, because she's sitting on a throne of lions. There's a lot of feline energy in here. There's not a lot of numbers playing out in this tarot card spread. We've got 2 character cards, the Pentacles, that's Earth sign, Taurus, which is where we're having the full moon, Virgo, and Capricorn. And we've also got the Queen of Wands, who's a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. And the Sun, I feel like she represents the Sun in this case, and that's moving into Sagittarius, your 6th house of work and health. So, It could be you that is feeling under the weather. It could be a friend, a partner, a spouse, a roommate, a child, because it's 4th house energy surrounding as well. I would say this, because the Ace of Wands is in reverse, if you have to have surgery, try to get a second opinion first before you go under the knife. It's just something that I'm feeling in my gut that I need to tell you. So, the numerology for this spread is the number 4 for this 4 of Swords, and that is the house of home and health, or home and health. That's the house of home and family. Health is probably going to be a big factor in this reading, though, in this experience that you have for November, because you have a lot of 6th house energy going through. Jupiter is in the 4th house, and that's dealing with your family. You've got Mars moving into the 8th house. So I'll say this. If you have to have surgery, Mars being in the 8th house isn't a bad thing. Just still make sure to get a second opinion. I would prefer Mars to be in the 8th house as opposed to any of the others for you in this situation. And that's just me. So, I've covered that. Let's go ahead and talk about your Sacred Rebels Oracle cards. The first that you received is the Power of Attraction. This is the 13th card of the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck. 1 plus 3 is 4. And that speaks to your home and family sector. That's where you live and where you consider home to be, or who you share your home with. This Power of Attraction card, because we're in November, and we will be experiencing 11/11, which is a very powerful symbol in numerology. It can speak to twin flames. I don't normally even use that word on this channel because I feel like there's too many people that talk about it, and a lot of people don't know what they're talking about, but this could be a powerful type twin flame connection, soulmate connection that comes through for you in November. And I see it being in your 7th house because Venus is moving through there right now, and that's your friends, that's your partnerships, that's the people that you deal with on a daily, regular basis. And you've got Pluto in the 7th house, which is very transformational. It's a lot of renewing going on. When I see this card, for me, I think that it's a time of fertility. So if you are not looking to create a child, because there's a lot of creation energy, I see this as like the conception point. Right here. It's got the male hand, the female hand holding it together, and it takes those two parts to make that baby. Not the hands, but you know what? I'm not going to give you a sex ed lesson here. Soulmates are something else really quick that I need to talk about, because a soulmate is someone who can be a friend. A soulmate is someone who can be a lover. A soulmate is someone who can stay with you for just a short period of time. Soulmates aren't a forever type thing, and I think people really have romanticized the idea of soulmates. We have people in our lives that are supposed to help guide us along our path, and those people are, in my opinion, soulmates. Those deep connections. They don't have to be sexually linked. They can be, but they don't have to be. But it's a time of, definitely a time of transition. And it's a time that, like, all of the necessary elements for this gift, this manifestation, it's coming together for you. Everything is lining up appropriately. There are little bumblebees and dragonflies throughout this. And they're small. I can see them, but I probably wouldn't be able to show you on camera. But The masculine side has the bumblebees, the feminine side has the dragonflies. You may want to look up what those two spirit animal totems mean. It may have some resonant messages for you. Yeah. But it's like you're seeing eye to eye with this situation, this person, whatever it is that has kind of shown up in your world. And it may kind of take you aback. You may not know how to deal with it. But you're doing well in whatever it is that you're doing. This card indicates that like the path is clear, all systems go, that sort of thing. The second card that you received is the 21st card of the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck, Behind the Mind, the Heart Beats. And I love synchronicity. I've got to point it out to you. This little guy is a hermit crab. And that is the animal that is associated with the Cancer the crab. And I love that it's got the fall leaves. It's very timely. 21, 2 plus 1 is 3. That is the third house of short distance trips, communication, siblings, cousins, and neighbors. You're going to be doing a lot of communicating with those types of people and probably doing some doing some journeying. Hopefully more of the short distance variety because of the holidays that are coming up shortly. When I see this card, I think it's, well, one, the eyes are closed, so the intuition is important. It's like deep within you, you know what the truth is of the matter, and you honestly know what to do. Now, whether you're willing to accept it or you're arguing with yourself or whatever, that I don't know, but deep down you do know what needs to happen, and whether you do it or not is ultimately your choice. If you're dealing with a battle between heart and mind, I feel like there is a truce that is coming, but you have to surrender to it. And don't make mountains out of molehills. This card really shows that everything that happens is a part of a cycle. From the DNA chain, helix link, to having flesh on this side but bone on this side. There's little like cogs in the wheel down here. The galaxy in the background just spinning it into manifestation. You need to quiet your mind so you can listen to your heart and listen to your gut. And a good way to do that is through prayer, which is the first Healing and Meditation Oracle deck card that I pulled that actually fell for you. It popped out of the deck. It says there are two kinds of prayer. One is noble and selfless. The other is driven by self-gratification. Noble prayer invites surrender, intimacy, and absorption into an ideal that is greater than ourselves. Consider the following, Cancer. I embrace humility in preparation for my prayers. I admit my faults and my mistakes. May I be granted absolution from the wrongs that I have inflicted upon others. May those people for whom I pray for be granted health and happiness. A good way to center the mind is to find a place for prayer or meditation or reflection. If you're more religious, then embrace the prayer. If you're more spiritual, embrace the meditation. If you are a balance between both, then by all means do what suits you. But understand that quiet time, that still time, that silent time, and however you reflect and however you observe and give gratitude and thanks for, reflect on the situation at hand as well. It'll help bring forth that knowledge that you already have more to the forefront. And when that happens, you should accept it. because this is the second healing and meditation oracle card that I pulled for you. Acceptance reads, many people find it hard to accept themselves for what they are, and as a consequence have low self-esteem. If you are afflicted by doubts of this kind, repeat these mantras to yourself, Cancer. May I accept the facts. May I not fight against the facts. May I appreciate that the closing of one door opens another. May I be at peace with the situation. These mantras for acceptance are more effective if you're in a receptive state of mind. The mudra, or the ritual gesture for receptivity, is to sit cross-legged on the floor or in a chair with your palms facing upward. Accept the transition. Don't make mountains out of molehills. You really already know what to do. Calm your mind, center your heart, listen to your gut. And rest if you need it. Alright, Cancer, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you already have, I thank you from the bottom of my very grateful heart. I'll be around mid-month to pull some cards for you for guidance, and I'm working on the December information as well as the 2017 highlights for y'all. So, I hope that you have a wonderful November. Please, please, please be kind to yourself and save some of that kindness for others, because we're all going through difficult battles in our personal lives that some of us may never speak about to another living soul. And it costs nothing to be kind. Take care, y'all. I'll see you soon. Bye.